What if I told you one woman changed the fate of an entire empire? A queen so powerful that even Rome's greatest leaders fell under her influence. This is not just a story of beauty. This is a story of intelligence, strategy, and survival. Her name was Cleopatra VII. Born into a royal family, but surrounded by betrayal. Raised in a palace, but destined for war. She didn't just inherit power as she fought for it. While others feared Rome, she stood face to face with its most powerful men. Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and made them her allies. But power always comes with a price. Betrayal, war, and a tragic ending. This is the rise and fall of the last queen of Egypt. And trust me, this story is more shocking than you think.
Cleopatra VII, a queen whose name still echoes through history. In 69 BCE, a girl was born into the royal family of Egypt, Cleopatra.
But she was no ordinary princess.
Her family was of Greek origin, descendants of Alexander the Great.
Yet Cleopatra was different.
While many rulers before her never even learned the Egyptian language, she chose to speak it fluently. She didn't just want to rule Egypt, she wanted to truly connect with its people.
From a young age, Cleopatra showed extraordinary intelligence.
She studied history, politics, and multiple languages.
She understood something most rulers ignored. Power is not just inherited, it is earned. Inside the luxurious walls of the palace, she was already preparing for something greater.
She had a vision to become the most powerful ruler Egypt had ever seen. But beyond the beauty of the palace, danger was already rising. A storm was coming, a battle for power from within her own family. A storm was coming, a battle for power from within her own family. After the death of her father, Cleopatra VII became the queen of Egypt. But she was not alone on the throne. She had to rule alongside her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII. At first, everything seemed normal. But behind the palace walls, a silent war had already begun. Ptolemy's advisors wanted power, and they saw Cleopatra as a threat. Soon the tension turned into betrayal. Cleopatra was forced out of Egypt, exiled from her own kingdom. Alone in the desert, with nothing but her ambition. But she didn't give up. She started planning her return. And she knew, to win, she needed a powerful ally. That ally was Rome. And more importantly, Julius Caesar. When Caesar arrived in Egypt, Cleopatra made her boldest move. According to legend, she secretly entered the palace wrapped inside a carpet. A risky plan, but it worked. When Caesar saw her, he didn't just see a queen. He saw intelligence, courage, and a woman worth supporting. An alliance was formed. With Caesar's backing, Cleopatra fought back. Her enemies were defeated, and once again, she returned to the throne of Egypt. But this victory was only the beginning, because power, it always comes with consequences. The death of Julius Caesar changed everything. For Cleopatra VII, it was not just the loss of an ally, it was the beginning of a new uncertainty. Rome was no longer stable, power was being divided, and once again, Cleopatra had to make a move. This time, her path crossed with Mark Antony, a powerful Roman leader, a fearless warrior, but also a man drawn to Cleopatra's presence. Their first meeting was unforgettable. Cleopatra arrived in royal style, surrounded by gold, luxury, and mystery. She didn't just enter the room, she made an impact. And just like before, she won him over. But this was more than romance, this was strategy. Together, Cleopatra and Antony formed a powerful alliance. They controlled vast lands, from Egypt to the eastern parts of the Roman world. Their influence grew stronger every day. To some, they were lovers, to others, they were a threat. Because in Rome, another man was rising. Octavian, he saw their power and he didn't like it. To him, Cleopatra was dangerous. And Antony had become his enemy. The tension between them grew, and slowly the world moved closer to war. A war that would decide everything. The tension finally exploded into war. On one side, Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII. On the other, Octavian, the fate of Egypt, would be decided on the sea. In 31 BCE, the final battle began. Battle of Actium. Ships clashed, fire burned across the water, and chaos filled the air. Octavian's forces were stronger, more organized, more prepared. As the battle turned, Cleopatra made a critical decision. She retreated. Antony followed her fleet, but that moment changed everything. Their forces collapsed. Defeat was inevitable. Back in Egypt, hope was fading. Surrounded by enemies that with no way out, Mark Antony made his final choice. He took his own life. When Cleopatra heard the news that the world around her shattered, the queen I'd who once ruled with power now stood alone. Octavian was coming. And Cleopatra knew she would not be taken as a prisoner. She would not be paraded in Rome, so she made her final decision. According to legend, she ended her life using a venomous snake. And with that, in 30 BCE, an era came to an end. Egypt fell under Roman control. The age of the pharaohs was over. But Cleopatra's story that's never truly ended. She became a legend, a symbol of power, intelligence, and fearless ambition.